started.
Are we ready to roll, folks?
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, folks. This is the Monday, November 9th, 2020 MPO Technical Advisory Committee meeting. We're still holding these meetings virtual. We have Venkat, myself here physically, and then I see it looks like we have online, from what I can tell, Manny, Deborah, Christopher Dan, Margaret Kubelins, Todd Kersey. I'm not sure if we have any others on, but we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item is if there's any public comment. I don't know if we have anybody online from the public that'd like to provide any public comment. This is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear that we have any public comments, so we'll close that item. The next item is the approval of the meeting minutes. This is for our last meeting, which was September 9, 2020. These minutes are included in our packet, and I'll ask everyone to take a quick look and ask for any comments, questions, or amendments to the September 9th Technical Advisory Committee minutes. Doesn't sound like I'm hearing any. Anybody like to make a motion to approval of these minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, we'll have approval for the September 9th Technical Advisory Committee meeting minutes. I guess I'll go ahead and second that. Okay, minutes approved. Do we have any report on the MPO board actions from the September 10th, 2020 meeting? Is there anyone on Tania or anybody online going to provide any information on the prior MPO board meeting?
Todd, this is Manny. I was, if you don't mind, going back to the last item where Venkat made the motion. Did you make a second on that?
I probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, you can do that. If I guess the only two TAC members are Debbie and Chris, if one of those, and then we'll just mention that it was by consensus since there's a quorum.
Yeah, so I'll second the motion to approve the minutes. Chris D. Barta.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, thank you, Manny.
Just real brief, going back to the item as far as the MPO meeting on September 10th, they had only two action items. One was the roll forward, TIP roll forward for those projects that didn't get started in 2020 and automatically they roll into 2021. The board approved that. And there was this new item that is going before the MPO. It's the quarterly MPO executive director's timesheet that they have to approve. And that also got approved. So those were the bulk of the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Manny. Anybody else have any comments or questions on the prior MPO board meeting? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Manny. That moves us to our action items. We have two items. The first is the State Road 56 roadway classification. I believe Jensen was going to report on this. Jensen, are you online?
He's on by phone. Yes, do you see him?
I don't see him on my phone.
Jensen, if you can hear us, we're trying to see if we can connect with you. We hear you're on by phone.
Hey, Todd, can you hear me?
There he is.
There we go. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, yeah, the connection wasn't working on my actual headset, so now I just had to call on my phone. So I'm just going to be talking to you about the change to the Pasco roadway classification designation for State Road 56. This change is on State Road 56 from Meadow Point Boulevard to US 301, just southwest of the city of Zephyr Hills. as shown on the map that is currently up on my screen. I'm pretty sure that you guys can see that first one. Currently, the classification of this portion of State Road 56 is a local street, and this occurs when the roadway is under construction and it follows a new route, so not a reconstruction of an existing roadway. The default classification during the construction phase is for a local street designation. Now that the roadway is fully constructed, we are proposing to change the roadway classification to principal arterial other due to its regional connectivity in eastern Pasco County and to align with the existing portion of State Road 56 from State Road 54 near the Tampa Premium Outlets to Meadow Point Boulevard, as shown on the second map in your packet, the red line that goes across the entire corridor. The reason for the designation of other is just simply to denote that this will not be a limited access facility, i.e. an interstate or a freeway, that it will actually be a fully accessible highway to those cross streets along it. This will need an approval to change its classification of this portion of State Road 56. And as always, I can now answer any questions that anyone may have on this roadway classification change.
Thank you, Jensen. Seems pretty straightforward. Are there any comments or questions by anyone?
No comments except because of not having a quorum, how do we complete this?
You would,
We'll just do it by consensus, Venkat.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll call for, we'll just do it by consensus if we want to start. Venkat, you like to start?
I'm in favor of it.
Yep, Todd Vandenberg here. Recommend the approval of the reclassification, State Road 56.
So if you could have somebody make a motion and then somebody needs to second if we have like
Okay.
I mean,
Andy, it's consensus. It's consensus since we don't have enough for quorum.
but we do want to see which member made a motion.
Okay, so this is Debbie. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the reclassification for State Road 56.
I'll second that one. This is Venkat Vadikudi.
Okay, so we've had a motion and a second. Would any of the other members like to voice your vote, please?
Christina Barta, yes.
This is Debbie, yes.
This is Venkat Vadikudi, yes.
This is Todd, yes. I believe that's everybody. Item passes unanimously. The next item I don't believe is an action item, but we're going to have a presentation from FDOT SafeTRIP Initiative. Margaret, are you on?
I am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a privilege to be here and share this information with you. So I am Margaret Kubelins, and I'm the SafeTRIP program engineer for the Transportation Management Plan for the reconstruction of West Shore. Next slide, please. Just a few updates. Last week, now it's 2 months ago already. I'm not sure how that happens. Certainly wasn't last week, but we at the department, we crossed a significant hurdle in any program where it's this significant. So we have the SEIS, and don't ask me what it stands for, but Federal Highway approved our SEIS, which basically gives us permission to go under construction. So, there's a lot of activities that are going on in preparation as we gear up. But having this approval was very significant. So we had lots of celebration as much as we could during our current conditions. But they did get face-to-face, the whole team that put it together. And then Howard Franklin Bridge, actually on my end, I can see that through ERC, that's our electronic review program. We've just gone through the first round of reviews for the Howard Franklin Bridge project, the design plans. So things are looking good along in that regard. So we're moving on forward and pretty excited about that. you will start getting some feedback, or you will be engaged with the aesthetic votes that are coming out early next year. And just so you know, the SEIS means Supplementary Environmental Impact Statement. So thank you, Jensen. It's always good to have good team players coaching you from the back. So I'm assuming you're aware, but let me just share with you, the West Shore Interchange was approved last fall, where we were granted a $1.4 billion budget for the funding for West Shore Interchange. It's a very big project, very important for the entire Tampa Bay region, because so many trips pass through this interchange, whether you're going to the city of Tampa, St. Pete. I mean, we do have alternative routes, but this is a very important interchange throughout the region. Next, please. So why SafeTRIP? SafeTRIP is really important because we are going to build this project from basically the outside to the inside. We're incorporating new managed lanes, and we're going to have to do it while we're under traffic. So we're going to have to still support and keep people moving, not just on 275 and State Road 60, but also in the local area network. We're looking at all of that playing together. And when I say the area network, we have a local area that we're focused in on, but we also have a regional network that we're paying attention to. And that's why we're presenting this to you, because we recognize that many people that pass through this interchange, their origin or their destination is going to be in Pasco. We also have a very vibrant program in technology, and we'll be engaging with you on that as well. And so we're here to introduce this program to you, and please let us know how you're going to be able to inform us to help all your constituents, your citizens are going to understand what to expect as we go into construction. Next, please. So as I stated before, this is the Transportation Management Plan. That is a required document by Federal Highway Administration for a project of this magnitude. So SAFE stands for safe, and then the TRIP stands for our traffic management, our regional demand management, innovation, and public engagement. So let me explain a little bit more about that after we get through our vision. Next, please. So we've been working on this, and actually we have an even more updated version of the vision, but it is a well-planned and innovative construction zone that we're establishing, and it maintains safety and reliability. So safety, what we're going to be measuring is our total crashes, but we're also measuring to see if we can get to zero fatalities and serious injury crashes. You may have heard of Vision Zero or Road to Zero, and that's what that concept is. It's that we recognize that crashes will happen, but in the event when the crash happens, either people will walk away from the crash or they'll fully heal. That's ultimately what we want. Reliability right now, let's take, for instance, it may take you 20 minutes to get to the airport, but while we're under construction, we want to get the news out and everyone understand, okay, to make it reliable, it may take you 40 minutes to get to the airport, where currently it takes 20. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be really important for us to continue to disseminate real-time information to the public so they know how to plan their trips appropriately. We also are looking at quality transportation choices. That is looking at transit, it's looking at bike facilities and van pools or any kind of program like that. So under each one of these elements, that's what we term these, the traffic management and such. Under TRIP, we have a lot of strategies that we're looking to deploy. So right now we're trying to put everything on the table, and then we'll run through it to see what we're going to be able to advance and what we may be held back on. So some of the short, more current, under traffic management, we're spending a lot of time looking at instrumentation and how we'll be able to do active arterial management, which means that we want to check all our major routes. to see if we have, confirm that we have fiber optics on there. And then do we have cameras? Do we have roadside units or other sensors? And then do we have a method to disseminate information? Regional demand management, van pools, and our bike route facilities within van pool for the region, all of Tampa Bay. But then on the bicycle network, is it a quality, safe network within our local area of influence? Under innovation, I will step through a few more of those in more detail, but we're looking at a very robust data management program and platform. So our data, as we are generators, because we capture a lot of information, how are we putting it in a platform that's more shareable? So it's getting to your Google and your Waze a lot quicker, and you're always dealing with quality data and in real time. And then public engagement, very much we're working towards establishing a two-way street of communication. Next, please. So this is an overall map that covers, and this covers the way we're paying attention to what we have, recognizing as soon as we put our drums, or if you call them barrels, up on the yellow line, which is 275. As soon as you see the drums, people or the drivers have a tendency, some people will choose to divert their route because they just don't want to deal with construction. So we also, at the same time, we recognize we need to be monitoring and having the most efficient operation on the entire network that is related to 275. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you about that? And then of course at night we will have detours that we'll have to deploy, and we want to be ready to help guide drivers to the best routes in order for them to stay along their journey in the shortest amount of delay as possible. Next, please. So regional demand management, which is our R, I kind of enjoy this because I've been in this business for over 30 years, and the concept of telecommuting for travel demand management has been projected for decades and been met with a lot of resistance. But now all of a sudden, because of our pandemic, everyone's like, oh, telecommuting, we could do that. And I am proud to say at the department, I mean, we only have to come to the office 2 days a week. So that's pretty awesome. And those kind of measures help reduce the amount of travel and the demand on the roadways. We are also, like I mentioned about the bicycle facilities, probably relative to Pasco, the program that we're working with T-BARTA on, their van pool program is probably the most significant that would have an relation to Pasco, or it could be your transit. We are looking at hubs where we ran into a little bit of delay on origin destination information, but we'll continue. That should be developed here in the next couple months. Next, please. So innovation. We have 3 components of innovation right now, and this is all about data management, but we have our smart work zones where we're looking to harmonize the speed, because our maximum efficiency through a work zone is achieved when we have people moving about 35 or 40 miles an hour, or at least if people are driving all about the same speed. That's going to give you the best efficiency as far as the capacity goes. And then we're introducing the concept of zipper merge. We're working on a pilot project right now. All our plan and our program is in central office under review, and we're expecting comments on that. We're hoping to deploy that pilot project probably right after the first of the year. And we're looking at Gateway. If you go to the next slide, I don't know who's running the slides. Is that Patricia?
No, it's Todd.
Oh, it's Todd?
Yeah, I can play the video if you want.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you.
Yep, give me 1 sec.
Yep.
Stop this.
Todd, it didn't go through? It had that embedded video. If not, we can keep going. Todd, we're not getting anything. Did you realize that?
I'm sorry.
We're not getting anything.
I'm sorry. I'll play it again. We did get it here locally. I guess I accidentally hit the wrong button there. 1 second. I'll play it again for everybody else online.
Oh, thank you. There we go. Thank you. Oh, but there's no sound.
We started over.
What is a zipper merge? A lane is closed in a freeway construction zone. There are signs and arrow panels well ahead of the closure to let motorists know they need to move to an open lane. Additionally, drivers merge as soon as it is safe to do so. Use a traditional merge when traffic volumes are low and cars are moving at highway speeds. When traffic is heavy, that one lane can back up fast. Sudden dangerous stops, significant delays, and angry motorists. When traffic backs up, there's a better way to merge. A zipper merge, also called a lane merge, has motorists stay in their lanes until they reach the merge. There, each driver takes turns, alternating one lane of traffic, then the other, just like a zipper. Research has shown that this reduces backups by as much as 40%, as well as reducing serious crashes and road rage. Traffic can flow smoothly, backups can be reduced, and everyone benefits. So make your drive a zip. Do the zipper merge.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Could you bring up the rest of the? Yep, thanks.
1 second.
It's Monday and we have a tropical storm coming. It's the perfect storm. It's the perfect storm. I'm telling you.
You know, I've learned to have patience on the level of excellence. You know, it's like
right.
you develop an ability to just be nimble. You know, what are you going to do?
Right.
Okay, well that was in the innovation. The other two areas is the work zone data exchange, which is a US DOT protocol for how data is shared, and we're establishing a platform for that. And then also we're looking at mobility as a service. And so mobility as a service is about taking all the data and then putting it out using probably a different kind of vendor, but for other traveling modes. And we're working actively on finding ways to be more shareable. Venkat, you may be familiar with D5 has the Sun Store. So it's similar to what the Sun Store is. Okay, and then our fourth element is public engagement. We went through, if you're familiar with TBX, and that really spurred a lot of good channels for communication and helped the department shift the way we're communicating with the public, as well as area partners, whether they're agency partners or just overall other organizations. And so we're continuing to build upon that in order to be sure that we have an open platform and we have ways to get communication back to us. We've had conversations with Hart already. We've had conversations with Florida as well as the airport. And now we're moving into working with major employers. Again, like I mentioned about the van pool program that T-BARTA has using Agile Mile. So these are a lot of programs for us to have a robust and very comprehensive transportation system to aid while we go under construction, to help get the information out so people can make their own choices as they need to personally adjust based on what the current condition is. Next, please. And then as we can, we will move back into the in-person format, but in the meantime, we'll continue to do a lot of programs and activities through the virtual platform. It's been very effective. Next, please. So we do have a regional or a community advisory task force. And so these are some of our partners, and we continue to add more of them as the requests have come forward. We do have, we just have some additional people that are like, we really want to be in the know. We have another meeting coming up in probably late January. Next, please. Oh, thank you. Okay, so lessons learned. So this is the first time a major interstate construction project has gone underway. So the first place that we went was we just reached across I-4 over to District 5 and had a conversation with them about what were the challenges, some of the challenges they had in I-4 Ultimate. And it's interesting and that they have already coached us on contract language. So with our SafeTRIP program, they had encouraged us to actually write text into the contract so the contractors will have vested interest in the success of SafeTRIP. So that was one of the key elements from them. Wisconsin DOT, they've okay, right off the top of my head, I'm just going to be honest, I don't remember what they told us to incorporate. The Missouri DOT, when we talked with them, they had a big project. They had what they called their circle, and that's what we've identified as our local area of influence. So we're monitoring what projects does the department already have on our work program, but we're also looking at local government and then making decisions on what we may want to progress or advance, or which ones are we going to want to push out and construct after we're done. So this is our overall schedule. So here we are in the last quarter of 2020. So right after the first of the year, we should have a really good, strong draft done for SafeTRIP, and then we'll wrap it up before the summer. We already have projects that are underway, and we are looking at advancing them, like the City of Tampa ATMS project. We're working hand in glove with them and looking at technology and ways for us to have more instrumentation deployed. We're also looking at small intersection improvements and what can we get on the ground to help ease the flow of traffic. So we're already looking at those deployments, and it's not even, the 2021. The West Shore reconstruction, it was officially, originally it was in 2024. It looks like it may be pushed out by a year, but we're still assuming it's 2024. The SafeTRIP program will continue no matter what because the comprehensive nature, and so it'll be flexible enough to adjust. And then as soon as we get this program written, documented, then we'll probably let it kind of rest for a little bit while we have other activities going on, such as our smart work zones, our mobility as a service, as work zone data exchange. As those develop, then we'll pick SafeTRIP back up and then incorporate it into other contracts and so on. We do expect it to be a live document. So thank you for your attention. The purpose of today was really just to introduce you to it. so you know that it's going on. And then also keep it in the back of your mind as you go through your plans and your programs, recognize that there may be touch points where we can partner and leverage the technology or leverage the resources that we have within the region. So I'll take any questions you may have.
Thank you, Margaret. That's a great presentation. Very impressed with your SafeTRIP Vision and program through safety initiatives. Looks like a great project. Any comments or questions for Margaret? Sounds like your presentation is pretty good, Margaret.
Well, there's a lot of information to put out, very high level, but I look forward to being a partner with you as we move forward.
Thank you very much again. Okay, does anyone from the MPO staff have any status reports or presentations or updates for today's meeting?
I don't have any, but this item should have actually been under these presentations, but I don't have one. I don't know if Tania has one.
No, I don't.
Yeah, we were discussing earlier that the last item, the DOT SafeTRIP initiative, wasn't actually an action item, hence the reason we didn't take any formal action on it. Any CMP task force issues?
We don't have any Todd at this meeting.
How about any PCPT updates?
I don't see Kurt on, so I believe we're going to have to skip maybe to the next meeting.
He informed me he would not be on today.
Okay, he's not with us today. We'll hold off till our next meeting. Well, any other comments, input from anyone that's on today? I'll start just a few updates. We've begun our 301, US Highway 301 Purdy Pond and Medical Arts construction project where we're relocating traffic signal from our two shopping centers in the north end of the city to US Highway 301 and Purdy Pond. And there'll also be a new signalization project that's a part of that same project at 301 and Medical Arts, where it'll punch across 301 into the Panera in the Townview Shopping Center. So that project is underway. I believe it's an 8-month project. We have that going on. I don't know. I'd like to state that I haven't heard anything for a while again concerning the State Road 56 alignment project. I don't know if anybody from the county's heard anything. I can reach out to the Tampa DOT office. Jensen, I don't know if you're still on. I don't know if you've heard anything about the latest and greatest. I believe last I remember hearing was that there was going to be an upcoming meeting that the city of Zephyr Hills, Pasco County MPO, and others probably would be invited to review and talk about the potential State Road 56 alignments that have been considered with some initial input and studies done on.
Yes, that meeting would come prior to any kind of public hearing process. We're still trying to figure out, at least in terms of what the requirements are with COVID, to have those public hearings, whether or not they're virtual or in person. But we will have all the information prior to the public hearing meeting with the county and the city and the MPO all involved.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate that, Jensen.
Yep.
Something else there? Okay. I just had one question. I get asked this periodically, and I think I brought it up. I believe I had heard, and I'm not sure, Manny or Debbie, if any of you know this, but I believe I had previously heard that both Wire Road and Geiger Road were both up for resurfacing, and I thought Wire Road was this year and Geiger maybe next year. I don't know if someone could get back with me on updates on that. We're working on a few projects, and that question has come up. So just looking for some information on timing of when those projects might occur.
Okay. Hey, Todd, that'd be Public Works. So either Mandy or I could reach out to Public Works to see what they're doing.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate that. Those are the only comments that I had. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is Chris Dean Ontisca T-BARDA. Just a brief update. T-BARDA partnered with User, who's a TNC, to provide cross-county trips for the transportation disadvantaged. User submitted a grant application to the CTD and was awarded on October 28th, I believe. So the service will start December 1st. Right now, we're trying to get together the eligibility list from each of the CTCs. And if the CTCs are not going to provide those, we are going to develop our own eligibility program. So December 1st, people with lower income, elderly, transportation just that are TD eligible will be able to go cross county lines to the T-BARDA 5-county service area. So Hernando, Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Manatee. So I just wanted to give that update.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I failed to mention one item. The city of Zephyrhills is interested. We've had some preliminary discussions with Debbie and Tania. Both myself and Audrey from our Zephyrhills planning staff are looking into the SIGP grant application process. And we have two projects that I previously identified that sort of act as a parallel roadway network for US Highway 301 that runs through Zephyrhills. And that would be Simons Road, which connects to Fort King Road. Fort King runs west, of course, of 301. And now with Simons Road being connected to Island Boulevard, it provides a nice alternative to reduce some of the trips through the center of Zephyrhills at 301 and County Road 54 and Island. So we're looking into the opportunities to apply for a SIGP application, whether it's one or probably two. The city of Zephyrhills constructed 3/4 of the Simons Road. It runs from Island Boulevard north, but we stopped short of Fort King Highway due to some Duke transformer poles that are in the process of being relocated. So that's a phase 2 with some turn lanes on Fort King. And then there's a strong need for a lot of development and all these pass-through trips once this total alignment is completed for construction at Simons and Island Boulevard to have potentially a signal there with turn lanes on Island Boulevard. So Jensen, if you're still on, I believe, is it correct that the application hasn't been set up yet, but it's probably in the spring that'll become available? Is that correct?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. Yes, we're looking at those coming online during the spring with a due date sometime in March for all the materials for that. So you were correct in stating that. I also just wanted to clarify really quickly. I misspoke on your question, Todd, about State Road 56 just a minute ago. I had the two Zephyrhills projects mixed up in my mind. The public hearing that I was mentioning is actually for the US 98, 301, and Clinton Avenue realignment up between Zephyrhills and Dade City. That is what I was referring to as the public hearing, but we will be coming back to you, the county, and the MPO for the State Road 56 ACER alignment process. So you'll be hearing from us essentially for both of them.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Yeah, I'm aware. I did hear about the 98-301 public meetings coming up. Thank you for that.
Yep, you're welcome.
Any other comments or updates from anybody online? Venkat?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, well, unless somebody has some future agenda topics, we'll call for an adjournment. We're not sure exactly where the December 7th meeting will be. That's been undetermined at this point, but Tania, I'm sure, will send us out a future email providing us with that. Call for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, I'll second that motion. This is Debbie.
Okay, we'll do this by consensus again. Todd is yes. Anybody else? Otherwise, I guess we'll call this meeting adjourned. Tania, thank you. All right.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Todd.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.